Welcome to Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy and Dino. Get ready to dive into the wild world of Minnesota hunting, trapping, and wildlife. We'll be chatting with some folks who protect, manage, and promote the great outdoors. But don't worry, we'll also have some laughs as we chat about guns, whiskey, and anything else that catches our eye. So grab a drink, sit back, and get ready for a good time. Down the Barrel Podcast is brought to you by the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association
and Wolf.Report. Wolf.Report, a platform dedicated to elevating the voices of Minnesota hunters, trappers, and outdoor enthusiasts. Join us in advocating for responsible wolf management in Minnesota. Share your reports, photos, and stories, and together we will ensure that they are seen by all.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association, protecting the future of deer and deer hunting through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf.Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.
All right, here we are. We're back. I think we're going to do this one kind of a bullshit session,
yeah,
right?
A filler episode.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah, you got family in town. You're busy.
Yeah, it's June is a crazy month as well.
Right.
So
Miley Cyrus canceled on us.
That's right. At the last minute, we had her scheduled, and
she's a big hunter. You don't know that about her, but she loves elk hunting and deer hunting, bear hunting.
I can only imagine.
I don't know if you're lying or not,
dude.
About that, she's a hunter. That she was coming on.
That she exists.
Oh,
she loves killing animals. Look at her.
Is that real? Does she hunt?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like we said,
I think she's pretty.
Bullshit session.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Jim's just going to make
I just
stuff
figured
up the whole time.
that meant we would talk about
probably shouldn't
real
believe
things.
anything I say. Although I will say we have a special guest in studio today.
We do.
My daddy.
The daddy, the ranch daddy, Mace Jacobs.
I got you on now. You can say hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
All the way from Kansas.
Yeah.
Came up to tell us about cow 612 and if she's had that calf yet.
Yeah. Giving me the much needed ranch update.
Yeah. It's weird.
How's my colt coming along?
Cool.
Yeah. Is it still alive?
Sure.
Sure.
There you go.
Maybe they might have grilled it. I
Still
don't know.
alive.
Oh,
Still alive.
Yeah,
Till next year.
it's still
JR.
going.
JR.
That's right. You did name it JR, didn't you?
I didn't name it. You guys named it.
Oh, did we name
I
it?
thought Mike did.
Oh, yeah. Your uncle. He
You named it JR?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a jolly
There
rancher.
you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I was pretty jolly.
That is
Hey,
true.
It's easy to be jolly on the ranch.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
No better life.
I still got to find you a ranch and truck. I found one the other day.
Like a
but,
cake truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fancy, which you can't start out that fancy. You
No,
gotta start
I
out
want
with
the
with
blue
like
one
3
from the
wheels.
ranch.
Yeah.
That is an awesome truck.
That thing is cool.
I mean, don't get me
Wasn't
wrong.
it white?
That was blue. Wasn't
Well, the one we drove around in was white, but
Right.
he's talking about the old,
The one that didn't run.
70
Yeah,
what is
the
that?
one that didn't run.
Was that a 76
it Ford?
Ford?
The one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Has
the
it
tall
moved
one.
yet?
That's a tall boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If it says Ford on it, it'll run.
Yeah, you might have to,
I don't think it ran the whole time we were down there, and I'm pretty
That
sure some
one
people.
It's just because we didn't turn the
the
key.
7.3 will, of course. That thing
Well, of
runs
course.
forever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Agree to disagree.
I don't know what that even means because
I don't either.
you drive like
Yeah,
an
'cause
Eco
we're-
Boost or something, don't you?
No.
No, he's got the 5.0.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. 2010 F-150.
Yeah.
No. 2012.
20. Yeah, well, there you go.
2011.
20.
Split the difference. It's
Somewhere in
2011.
there.
I promise it's
Ford
2011.
either
It's
way.
a Ford F-150.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
it's in, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Rusted to shit, but I love it.
Have you seen my truck?
Yeah, or mine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They neither of them say Ford.
They don't say Ford. Well, yours does.
Mine says Ford. Well, Power Stroke.
Power Stroke. Mine
does
does
say Ford on
not,
it.
but I don't care. She's a good old girl.
Exactly. Well, heck, the prices of vehicles nowadays, I'm sticking with it till it just rusts out.
I'm going to drive
Dies.
mine until the apocalypse. Actually, I'll probably drive it after the apocalypse. As long as I can find fuel for
I'm
it.
definitely driving mine after the apocalypse because I'm going to put a big old grill guard on that thing. A zombie, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
running
putting a
over
turret
everything.
on mine because I have the mega caps. I'm putting a turret on mine.
There you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I should say we are not sponsored by Ford. In fact, we're sponsored by Chevy over at MBHA.
I actually really been looking at Chevys lately. They're so nice.
Yeah.
They are nice.
That 5.3 is a workhorse. I heard they got like a little diesel too now. I heard some guy telling us the other day it was awesome. Who was
Yeah,
that?
they do. That was
that mean you?
Yeah, yep. We were camping and
Who was telling us about that?
Cass was.
Oh, Cass.
Yeah, yep. He was telling us about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I've always liked the Duramax myself, but just
6.6 is a good one.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of
trying to get into the
Duramax, but
Duramax is tough.
That's a lot. And they got 2 extra cylinders that I don't want to deal with. So
Yeah.
I like the 6 cylinders, diesels, Cummins.
I don't know. Nowadays, you can't hardly work on anything, gas, diesel, whatever.
You can work on a Cummins.
Not the new ones.
They're the same as the old. They just got a plastic cover over them.
I'm going to buy a new Cummins and tell you to work on it.
Okay. I'll work on it. You got to pay me, though. And drive it.
I'll give you a beer. How about
Guaranteed
that?
the rust bust, leak squeak, or buckle.
While you're working on it?
After.
For how long? What's your warranty?
My warranty? I don't have a damn warranty. Nobody has a warranty anymore.
It's pretty much till I can't see anymore.
Pretty much. Your bottle of whiskey's gone.
My warranty lasts until I get paid.
There you go.
Exactly. It's guaranteed until you start it up.
Well, so we're coming off a holiday weekend here.
Yeah. Memorial.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And Thursday night, you all got to go see Willie Nelson.
We did.
I was not able to go. And I
Yeah.
had to
Thanks
sell
for the
some
tickets, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
It was a hoot.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What did we hear? It was sold out, and we heard somebody say 8,000 tickets were.
There was 8,000
the
in
capacity.
attendance that night.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I believe it.
who opened? Wild Horses?
Wild Horses and
Yeah,
then
Grand Rapids, right?
like what was the other one? Laney Brook or something like that? Brook Lane?
I don't quite remember. I just
don't
know
know.
Wild Horses.
And there was like Brook Lane or something like that in between. She did a great job. I'm sorry if I butchered her name.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was good.
it was
Yeah.
good. It was.
They had good food there.
Yep, really good food. It was chilly. I
It
mean,
was
right
cold. It
along
was like 40 degrees.
yeah, right on the lake there. It was cold. I was glad we wore clothes.
I was glad they had alcohol.
Yes,
Helped me stay warm.
that did help. But I do know next time, if we ever go to a Bayfront concert, get there a little bit earlier than we did to get closer
Yeah.
to the stage. I mean, we were quite a ways back, but the cool thing is they had a corner open. Right before Willie came on, we decided, hey, let's walk up there, check it out. And so we actually saw him come on really close up stage. So that was
And listen to
was
his
pretty
first 1 or 2 songs.
neat.
We
Yeah,
stood there.
which, can you guess what he played first?
I did.
Well, I was going to ask if it was mostly, the classics or some covers or any of the new
I
stuff.
think it
that
was
he's
all
done.
classics,
I
wasn't
think it
it?
was all
classics.
classics. I mean,
All right.
isn't Willie
What
just
did he-
classic?
Oh, no. He does
Well,
covers
I know
too.
he's got some covers.
But he did that album. Oh, what's that album called? I don't remember. But he had some. He worked with like Kid Rock and I think even Brandy Carlisle and some other musicians. I can't think of the name of the album, but if I had to guess, first song, I'm gonna go. On the road again.
Ooh, that would have been a good guess.
That was
but
like his 4th or 5th song.
He did play that though.
he
Oh,
did
yeah.
play that one.
Yeah.
But no, you're wrong.
It was Whiskey River.
Whiskey River.
That was the first.
That was the first.
Well, see, that's the only video you guys sent me, and I figured I'd wait until I figured you would have waited to send me a video until you.
we
had had a
wanted to
few
rub it in your
drinks.
face right away.
By then we already had a few drinks.
By then we had when we were walking to the thing, we had a drink.
All right. Well, Whiskey River.
Whiskey
That's
River.
a great
Yeah.
song.
I called that one.
Yep, you did.
I did, but
Yeah.
I looked at the set list beforehand.
Oh, that'll help.
You're so full of shit.
I did actually.
So good
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, no, it was a really good
It
show.
was a hoot. I
Yeah.
mean, Willie is old.
91.
91, and you could tell. I mean, it was
Yeah.
still Willie. He was still cool, but he's 91.
Yes.
And you could tell he was 91.
Well, so my wife got to see Willie Nelson and who did she see? It was Willie Nelson and I told you about this. Why I'm blanking on the name right now.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Like
She's
Luke
gonna hurt you
Bryan or
for getting it
something?
wrong.
No, I keep wanting to say Brandy Carlisle, but it wasn't Brandy Carlisle. It was
Trent Reznor,
no, it was a female.
Miley Cyrus.
What's that? It wasn't that new chick that's kind of Lainey Wilson, was
No,
it?
no,
was it country chick?
It was a classic.
Classic. Probably Willie. I don't know. I like Trisha Yearwood or.
We're gonna have to cut
She
this
wouldn't
out
go with
because this
Willie.
is going nowhere.
Oh, no. There's people listening right now guessing. It's you
I'm
have
sure
to tell
they
us.
are, and this is one of my.
It's like, come on.
Like this is an icon, and I am so disappointed
Like
in
Dolly
myself.
Parton.
That level of icon.
Oh my God.
Really? With
So
Willie?
like,
With Willie Nelson,
wow.
but it was
like at the Judd lady,
No.
the what? Well, they were down in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I think it was Phoenix, somewhere in Tucson. They were in Tucson.
Like as big as Dolly Parton though.
Yeah,
Wow.
honestly, musically better, and I'm just blanking on a name here.
Dude, that's crazy. I don't know who that would be. Like Loretta Lynn. I mean,
Getting closer.
That's kind of where I was going with
Patsy
it.
closer.
Cline. I mean,
Why can I not think of this? Angel from Montgomery. Come on, who is this?
I have no
Now I
idea.
gotta
I'm
get
thinking
on the
Reba
computer.
McEntire.
That's what I
don't
was
know.
just gonna say.
You're going the wrong direction.
Reba
now.
is the queen, man.
I grew up every Christmas listening to a very Reba Christmas.
Oh, me too, dude. Totally.
Oh, I still listen to that
I
one.
still
What are you
can't.
talking
I
about?
can't handle it.
I like
Can't
Reba.
handle it.
Reba's cool.
All right, I am so disappointed in myself.
What did you say the song was?
Angel from Montgomery,
There's people listening right now screaming it.
which was originally by John Prine, but Bonnie Raitt. That's the name I'm looking
That's
for.
not
Okay.
Dolly Parton big.
No.
Ooh, bigger.
Oh no.
Other
Nobody's bigger
than
Dolly Parton.
the whole the book thing that Dolly Parton does, she gives books to kids.
I thought that was Oprah.
Yeah, so did I. You get a book. You get a book.
But anyways, moral of the story: about 10 years ago, my wife saw Willie Nelson and Bonnie Raitt down in Arizona,
Right.
Okay.
and I asked her how the concert was, and she said, "Good, but man, he's old." And we're 10 years later.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
10 years later.
Because you guys are younger than us, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that somebody your age would go see Willie Nelson and Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you're like a good 10, 12, 15 years younger than me.
30 years. You're old.
30
He is
might be
old.
stretching
You're
a bit,
old.
but
No,
yeah,
I am 2 years old.
2 years. You'd have to be 2 years. Well, you'd have to be, you'd have to be old. I ain't going to say what, but
No,
God,
that's the music I grew up on
Yeah.
and never.
But
turned
we
back.
did go see Willie. It was a hoot. We made her
It
back
was.
alive.
Yep.
Willie was tired, but it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many songs he played.
Oh, if I had to
I
guess,
mean, it was a decent set. He was probably. Did he play for an hour and a half?
hour and a half. I'd say he probably played 15, 20 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a little quieter than I'd hoped, but he had somebody helping him there.
Yeah. He had a good, the good band behind him and backup singers and everything. So he did.
But
they did really well.
everybody was in a good mood. They had some
Yeah.
drinks there. It was a
Yep.
good show.
It really was. I was amazed at how many boats were in the harbor right behind it.
They had
That was pretty neat.
boats, they had canoes, they had kayaks.
Yeah, it was a little cold
And it was
being a kayak and
cold.
canoe.
But they didn't have to pay.
That's true. They didn't.
But the Coast Guard was checking them out.
Oh, for sure. They were
Yeah.
cruising through. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's a pretty good show. Good crowd, seemed like. So
Yeah.
I would definitely go back to the Bayfront for a concert.
Oh, for the Bayfront. Yeah, not Willie. He's is he still alive actually?
As of right now, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
By the time this gets posted, it's
Who knows?
questionable.
Yeah.
You don't say that.
I mean, honestly, he'll probably outlive with me.
Yeah. He'll be the first
He's
one
like
to
smoked leather. I mean, he's gonna live
There's
forever.
Definitely
something
smoked
to
leather.
this. What Willie likes to partake in.
Yeah.
I think it.
There was some of that there, even though you weren't supposed to.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that contributes to his longevity.
Yeah. You hear that, Willie? Smoked leather. Willie's gonna live forever. That rhymes. Write a song.
There you go. There you go. I'm thinking he might be one of the first like cryogenically frozen people too.
I think they actually took him out of him when they brought him on stage.
Well, when it was in
They were
Duluth,
kind of
he
bummed.
probably
Like, he's
was
barely
frozen.
thawing here.
Yeah, it was cold, but no, it was a good show. It was fun. Really enjoyed it.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, but I'm jealous.
Yep.
Yeah.
You should be. You should be.
Mhm. You had the tickets.
I did, but
You
kids
know it.
had other plans.
Yeah.
They'll do that.
So getting back to, kind of normal
Hunting
stuff, everything like that. So I was looking on Meat Eater. I get the emails and everything. So I was looking at that. Actually, I believe it came out yesterday. So the title of this is, if you can only pick one big game hunting cartridge, pick this one. So the premise of this, I'm going to let you guys guess, see what you guys think. So the premise of this is the apocalypse, kind of around that timeline, which is probably coming soon.
What, like next Wednesday?
As you gather your loved ones and sprint out the front door, you have just enough time to grab a hunting rifle. So you need a hunting rifle that will legally kill every big game animal in North America, from moose to pronghorn. Which rifle do you pick? Which cartridge caliber?
Well, I have some questions.
Okay.
Right. One, we're looking just big game.
Yeah, just mainly big game. Yep.
Okay.
We're
And
not
two,
talking security or quietness, anything like that. Big game.
okay. And two, you said legal to take any big game animal.
Correct.
If this is the apocalypse, who's enforcing that?
Right. I mean,
Okay.
story.
Are you?
Ethically? Because again, okay, so if this is the apocalypse, again, you wouldn't want to choose, let's just say, a 22 to, take, let's say, an elk, because it's probably going to take more than just one shot, and that's going to give away your position.
Yeah.
If you're not.
But if this is the apocalypse, I'm throwing hand grenades into herds of elk.
See, I wouldn't want to do that, because the zombies, they
there's zombies.
Well, the apocalypse, you never
It's
know.
the apocalypse, not the eclipse, Dean.
Well, then, okay, then you don't want to give your position away for other people to come and, to where you have to
All
get
right.
them.
All right. I think I know where this
Maybe
is
we
going,
won't go to
but
the zombie apocalypse. We'll just go,
yeah.
whatever.
So your go-to big game hunting rifle,
Yep.
end of the world survival scenario, what are you using for big game?
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not going first.
Oh, I'll go first. I mean, my first initial thought is 308.
Okay.
That's my initial thought. Not my final thought, but my initial thought. Because
I would agree with that, because that was my initial thought as well.
yeah, me too. That's the first one that pops in my head.
Yeah.
Just because it's so common.
Well, and see, I'm thinking, what do I have the most ammo at hand?
Right.
Which I should consider, what can I also find in the future? But
Correct.
currently on hand, I have the most 30-06.
There you go.
So that might be my go-to.
And that makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't
does.
you?
And I
That's
think that's
good
readily
caliber.
available.
I would think so. I mean, when I go to a
You're not
store,
going to
I
grab
see
something
it.
you only have 5 rounds of when you walk out of the house.
Right.
Right. I'm not grabbing the 4570 because I could only afford 5 rounds.
And there's none left on the planet.
Once you shoot those 5, what are you going to do?
I'm going to drive to Kansas and I'm going to take it from Mace.
Yep. Well, the gun's heavy enough, you can just beat
them to death. with it.
beat the animals to death with it.
Yeah. But I would say 308. But I mean, on Jared's logic, I would have to go with 7mm mag because I have the most ammo on that.
And I'd have to go 308 because I have the most ammo on that. But the 270 is pretty close for the big game caliber on my end.
See, that's such a tough question. End of
It
the
is.
world, big game cartridge. People
Yeah.
talk all the time, end of the world or apocalypse, what ammo are you grabbing? And everyone goes 9mm, 5.56, 223. It's everywhere.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But is that ideal for big game? No. Would it work?
Plus, Apocalypse, Game Ward's not going to tell you can't do it.
That's right.
But also kind of the top, with your line of thing with the apocalypse, what's readily available? It would be the 308, the 5.56, your 9mm, your 45,
You're 22.
your 22. Those would be the top 5. And I think
12 gauge.
12 gauge. Yep.
Yep.
20, to a certain extent, but 12 more than anything. And I think everybody should have at least one. They should have every one of those calibers in their
Absolutely.
arsenal.
Because,
in
I
their
mean, 12
collection.
gauge, you can look in almost any one of our trucks. I bet you can find a 12 gauge shell.
Yep.
Easily. But it's probably going to be a target load.
Well, it's going to be a 7.
likely.
Whatever.
Yep.
But
It's not going to be a big game load.
yeah, but
No.
I mean, you'd shoot it if you're hungry enough.
Dude, if I'm thinking, you ever see that Pigman series with the spear?
Oh, yeah.
He just jumps on it. That would be awesome.
I mean, totally. I get it.
But yeah, so in this article, they had chosen.
But they're thinking big game.
They were thinking big
most
game.
of the time, you're just going to be shooting a rabbit. So
Yep.
I'm thinking 5.56, 223.
And that would actually be a good guess for availability as well. Because like you said, what do most people have?
Right.
Where can you, say and even availability in stores and/or let's just say police stations, military bases. What will you find? 5.56.
Right.
But a lot of 308 as well.
Yeah.
True. They'll all have those.
Yeah.
But then again, you shoot a 308 at, let's say, a rabbit, because that's mostly what you're going to see, a small game.
You better have good shot placement.
You better have damn good shot.
Better. And that's where this basis is big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so what they say, 6'5" Creedmoor?
They said that's the one you want to use as a shovel.
that didn't even make the top 2, 4, 5.
Yeah, I believe it.
Did anybody actually say that?
In the I was reading the comments, and
the
some people
comments
said the
don't
comments.
That's
are dumb.
asinine.
They said it to start with just because of, the logistics of it and everything else. But when they actually read the article and went back and go, okay, availability and, shootability, stuff like that, then that's when they changed their mind. More or less the availability, I guess, not the shootability.
I don't know that I get that. I don't know that I've been in any store that sells ammo recently.
But what about people's houses, though?
Yeah.
That's where it comes in, right?
Because nobody really owns a 6.5 Creedmoor. Except for you.
And you 3 days from now. I'm getting that. Garrett has it shipping here right now.
Garrett does. All right.
Yeah.
That one, they got some nice ones. I can
Speaking of Garrett, I think I'm going to change my answer. I'm not going 30-06. I'm going with that 33 Nosler that just turns pigs into soup.
Yes. Yes.
3 pigs in the soup.
Don't even have to cook it.
Right. Exactly. Then you're just good to go. So, this is a great article.
Well, it's kind of fun to think about.
Yeah. I'd advise everybody to take a look at it. And they kind of go into detail, obviously, as to what some of the criteria is and everything else. And they do mention in here, the availability to reach out about 400 yards.
Yeah, I'm looking at that article in your hand right now. It says 22 long rifle sticks out to me.
Yep, because it says the 22 long rifle is readily available, accurate, and easy to shoulder, but to hunt any North American big game animal, which is what the premise of this was, you need enough juice to get the job done.
I suppose it depends where you are.
At any common hunting range.
Yep.
I mean, like we agreed, you can kill anything with a 22.
Absolutely.
But you're not killing it at 400 yards.
Right.
No.
I don't even know if you shoot them in the eyeball, they just go blind.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's kind of why they chose that. And then they also chose the 38 or 38.
38.
What are you talking?
I was like, wow.
The 308. Yeah, that's a 0. Because of even the number of available options in, the caliber and the grain.
The grain, which I don't think is going to be a really concern during the apocalypse.
Not
You're just going
really.
to grab it and shoot it.
You are.
No.
But so the top 5 that made the list, 308, 30-06, 300 Win Mag. That kind of surprised me.
Yeah, me too.
270 and 7mm mag.
Yeah, you got to remember a lot of these guys hunt out west, though.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they're kind of even going off of, honestly, probably overall sales over the years. But then again, well, we're talking big game. That's why 243 is not in it.
Right.
Right. But
still,
do you own a 300 Win Mag?
I do not. I own 2 on this list.
Mace, do you own a 300 Win Mag?
I know one person owns
That's
a 300 Win
negative.
mag, and
right. So that's where the availability question comes.
That does surprise me.
Yeah, that one I wouldn't agree with. I wouldn't agree with that one.
Yeah.
308, 270, yes. What else is on the list?
7mm mag.
7mm mag. Yeah, that one's pretty common.
I could see the 7mm08 more, but
no, I don't agree with that. I've never seen one.
You've never seen one.
Never seen one.
Yeah.
See, I see more 7mm08 than 7mm mag availability.
Well, you're dumb.
I'm going off of what I sell too, and I'm looking at this.
7mm. One person bought that.
What?
The 7mm08.
No, that's our gun of the year. Sold a lot of them.
Oh,
that's right.
I sold a lot of 7mm08s.
Was that last year?
It's this current year.
Right now, you can buy one.
So Weatherby.
Engraved.
Weatherby Vanguard.
Ooh, I like me a Weatherby.
Weather Shield Bronze.
Very nice looking gun.
Very nice.
I love me a Weatherby.
Yeah. So I'm even not looking at this list going, okay, sales 308, definitely 30-06, all for sure.
yeah.
300 Win Mag, when they're available, it's availability.
You know what would replace that one for me? 30-30.
Yep. That's where I was going.
Yes, and that's where even the 30-30 243, because I'm looking at overall, longevity.
I mean, around here,
yes,
I bet you go into Half the House Runner and they have one or other of those guns, or both. I actually only have one. I had a 243, but I wish I had a 30-30.
Well, so I've got a 243, little ammo. I do have a 30-30, but no ammo for it.
Well, that's a problem.
It kind of is. Mm-hmm. Technically, it's not mine, but it's in my safe. So, so it's
I know how that goes.
Yeah, so it's a really great article. From Meat Eater. So hopefully they're listening to this and
I'm sure
come on board.
Cal and Ranella would listen to this every episode.
Yeah.
Open invitation if any of them want to come on.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Shows how it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really great article from them. So
yeah,
every now and again they have them.
And I can I can relate to that too.
Well, it's a fun talking point.
It is.
Honestly, I don't think I'd leave my house because that's where all my guns are.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose there could be situations where you have to leave your house.
Right.
But I mean, my first, inkling wouldn't be to just run out.
No, probably not. And I would,
But I don't live in, Bozeman either. So
that might be the safest place. Honestly,
not Bozeman, Missoula maybe or something like that. But Bozeman,
the surrounding area. If you can get out of town, just hit the mountains. That'd probably be the best place.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm kind of happy around here.
Yeah,
we might not have the mountains, but we got swamps.
Oh, I've already got my trees picked out.
For what?
When the apocalypse hits, those trees are falling over my driveway. No one's getting in.
I can drive over trees with my Jeep.
Not these trees.
I'm going to come visit you.
See, I guess I would, I'd venture south.
What, to Kansas?
Yep.
You think your dad will let you on his property?
Maybe.
It's apocalypse.
But I'm thinking
about himself.
I'm also thinking because of wintertime and
wintertime is tough around
a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Potentially survivability.
Right. I mean, I'm not a pansy, so
that's
I
what I'm
survive,
thinking.
but
yeah, but I'm trying to keep my family alive as well.
Oh, we're getting picky now. I forgot about those people. Yeah.
At Wolf.Report, citizen science means that you provide the data and we provide the platform. Our website is designed for the citizens, hunters, trappers, and anybody else in Minnesota to easily report wolf encounters and share location data.
So I was reading this article from NDA the other day about CWD and genetically modifying the deer to make them resistant. Did you see that?
I did. I'm actually a member of NDA, so I got the email and everything. And I had heard about it a few weeks prior to this article with Oklahoma. This is based off of Oklahoma passing what would you call it, a law? Or it was legislation.
Yeah, resolution, I think it was.
Yeah, that, let's see.
Was it allowing them to genetically modify deer and release them into the wild or something?
To breed, so they've got CWD resistant deer, and the governor of Oklahoma signed it to where they can start releasing them into the wild to hopefully eradicate CWD.
So they're putting it in the hands of the deer farmers. Say, hey guys, fix this. Risking the wild deer.
The deer farmers are saying, hey, we can breed CWD resistant deer. Mm-hmm. And because of these certain, are they chromosomes or?
Did you say chromosomes?
Chromosomes. Let's see. Deer with the gene known as 96S. Have been found to survive slightly longer than other deer when infected with CWD.
Right. All right, so let's give all our wild deer that. They'll live an extra week.
So, what do you know about this?
Well, this is something we've been talking about for a while. What's that?
Passed a bill into law. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's an idea we've been talking about for a while. And I've met with the Minnesota Deer Farmers Association president and their lobbyist and everything. And I've told them flat out, if you can prove that this research will have any significant benefit on our wild deer herd, I will 100% back you.
Right.
MDHA,
Yep.
BHA, any NDA, anyone will back you if you can prove that it's going to have a benefit on our wild deer herd. But the problem is there's a lot of problems. Right?
Yeah.
But first and foremost, why or one, what is this genetic resistance within captive deer? What benefit is that going to have on our wild deer?
Right.
Because in theory, theoretically, you could cultivate a captive deer herd to be resistant to chronic wasting disease, but that's not going to translate outside of your fence, right?
Right.
And so now this article out of Oklahoma, did you say?
Yep.
They're going to take those captive deer and they're going to release them to the wild. In theory, those genetically resistant deer will reproduce and create a wild deer herd that is less susceptible to CWD.
In theory.
In theory.
But nature probably has different ideas.
Well, and that's the number one question is if these genetic markers are what cause a resistance to CWD, why are they not found in the wild deer herd already?
True.
Right.
You know, because there's probably something about those genetic markers that make them less
Ecologically viable? You like that? That's good
that's a
combo
great
words.
question. Great question. But so in like the biological, ecological world,
Right.
we call it genetic fitness, right? So your
Oh,
fitness is your ability to reproduce viable offspring.
Right.
And so why is your genetic fitness not already automatically producing those CWD resistant genes? It's probably because those genes also make you more susceptible to other
Right.
factors.
Make you a little
Right.
bitch or something.
Do we have to cut that?
No, hell no.
Well,
I mean, it's possible. It could make deer like, maybe they die from when it gets below 40 degrees. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. And there should be a study on it. Like you said, those big farms down south, Texas,
Yep.
they should, do that in an
that's-
enclosed place and test it. And if then you can prove it, great.
Well,
Absolutely.
and that's the other thing, that this article even states is the scientific work is truly untested. And on top of that, there is no foolproof live deer test for CWD
Right.
right,
at this point.
right. And there's a number of organizations working on that.
There are.
I think there's one in Minnesota, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
Is it like Peregrine?
U of M.
No,
something has something to do with that.
Priogen.
Priogen.
Cryogen.
That's where they also.
Yeah, they started out of the U of M. They've since branched off. But yeah, Priogen is working on a anti-mortem test because right now everything is post-mortem. You got to kill the deer, sample the lymph nodes. But Priogen is working on live tissue sampling.
Right.
So I'm very anxious to see what they come up with. They got to go through USDA approval and all of that.
Take
But
forever and a day.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I get it. They got to do something because I agree with some of the folks that say, just shooting a deer is not the answer to it. Like in Grand Rapids here, when we found one in a ditch somewhere, and they killed 100 and some deer.
Yeah. Yep.
That seems like an incredible waste to me.
Yeah, they're testing for it or whatever you want to call it. Just doesn't seem to be.
What do they call it? Intensive harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily totally agree with that to a certain extent, but especially for the numbers, that we get out of it.
Right.
There's got to be a better way. There's just got to be.
Well, and I think that's what they're working on. I think that's the U of M.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Whatever that company was called.
And
Right.
another thing, talking about your genetics of the wild deer, this one states numerous scientific studies have shown we cannot manage genetics of wild deer through
course you
selective
can't.
hunter harvest or through releasing small numbers of deer into wild populations.
Right. Because if we could have, they would have done it already with bigger antlers and stuff like that.
Well, you would think.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously this whole thing, you know, we all know or can say, you know, maybe it's been politicized or whatever, but
I'm
it's
sure it
still,
has.
there's something still there.
I think what we can take from it, though, is it's that article was from Oklahoma.
Well, it's Oklahoma that passed this
Well, yeah.
this bill, this law that's doing this, and NDA is,
Wow.
you know,
So we're
saying
fifth
it's
grade,
not,
sixth grade.
you know, it's not a good thing to do. What'd you say?
I was making fun of Oklahoma, and you didn't even let
imagine
me.
that.
I
No,
know. I
that's
thought you
Oklahoma.
Kansas people would at least get that.
Well, we definitely don't like Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, we're in Minnesota.
I know we are.
We only make fun of Wisconsin.
See, I thought we made fun of Iowa.
No, we tried.
I thought we made fun of Iowa and hated Wisconsin.
Ooh, that's yes.
See, that's what I thought.
Amen, brother.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Amen.
I would agree with that.
I mean, because when I was a kid, we had this joke about Iowa. It's like, you hear Iowa opened a new zoo. They just fenced in the whole
state.
Minnesota had a new zoo. We fenced in Iowa or something like that. I had a good buddy from Iowa, and I still do. He lives in Arkansas now, but we used to go back and forth.
I don't know if that's an upgrade or a downgrade.
Oh, it's total. I don't know. I would say downgrade.
Just
Yeah.
No, upgrade from Iowa, honestly.
lateral mobility.
Lateral. He's like, he see, the thing is, he was in Iowa. He moved to northern Minnesota, which is an upgrade. And then he goes to Arkansas. But that proves he's from Iowa.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
You hear that, Chris? I'm going to send you this video. It's not a video, audio.
So as I'm reading on this, you know, what others are saying. So Oklahoma's House Bill 3462 was opposed by NDA, obviously, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Mule Deer Foundation,
Yep.
Boone and Crockett, Pope and Young, Teddy Roosevelt Conservation Partnership, the National Wildlife Federation, and the Conservation Coalition of Oklahoma. Whew.
So basically everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you care about conservation,
Or if you understand anything, yeah.
right, you are not going to support this. And for those who are, well, there's no video. I'm doing quotes here.
Air quotes.
For those who are supporting this research,
Yeah, which is no research.
it's
somebody's
not
idea.
research, right?
No.
And that's the thing about research is it has to be replicable and peer reviewed. And none of these studies that are being shared meet either of those qualifications, you know?
Right.
And they love to point to the eradication of scrapie.
They
in
do.
sheep,
They
right?
love that.
They love to because scrapie was successfully eradicated. Well, find me a wild sheep in the Midwest. There are none. Right. It's very different when you're dealing with eradicating a genetic disorder, a disease in a captive population, and then translating that to a wild population. It's not the same, right?
Correct.
And so to think that we can use the same tactics that we did on captive sheep on wild deer is optimistic at best and
Idiotic at worst. Can I say that?
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, because
But I didn't say it.
No, I
it's
didn't.
Good.
You know,
I
what
did.
I say is good luck, Oklahoma.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you prove us wrong, awesome.
I would love to see you prove us wrong.
And
Right?
maybe we should high fence Oklahoma.
That would be great.
Let her buck,
let's-
boys. Let her buck.
Let's build a wall.
Build a wall. I have an aunt in Oklahoma. Sorry, but you're gonna have to get inside the wall.
We're gonna double fence Oklahoma.
Get your passport ready.
Yeah, dude, it seems like you need it. You should have a passport to go down there. I've been down there. I feel like I need a passport.
I haven't been there, but we were pretty close to Medicine Lodge.
Yeah, Yeah, well,
I felt like a different
stone's
country.
throw. It's like an hour away. 45 minutes.
I don't know about a passport, but maybe like some Rosetta Stone lessons. It's a different language.
I don't know, but I'm saying high fence Oklahoma, and let's just see what happens.
Double fence it.
Yeah, well, you have to. Yeah, that's the rule. You got to double fence it now.
Right.
And hey, they might prove us wrong. Maybe that. will work.
I guess the thing is let's hope
Yeah,
that they prove us.
I wish them the best.
Ain't nothing wrong with hope.
Nope.
Because then these deer farmers in Minnesota can breed those whatever deer they are and
You know
cure
what?
everything.
Be saviors.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Whitetail experts.
And as soon as they can prove that that's going to help our wild deer,
Yeah.
I will, MDHA will, NDA, BHA.
So
Every organization
White
will
House
back
will
them
jump
as
on board.
soon as it's proven.
yeah.
Exactly.
So are they actually going to do this
So
In
it is-
Oklahoma.
in Oklahoma?
Yep.
I believe so.
So we will have a case study then, probably.
Yep. Oh, I hope they study it.
Well, somebody else probably will. I don't know if Oklahoma will, but
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't officially say when it will happen.
they're probably releasing them right now. When they heard that, the deer farmers just opened their gates and let her buck.
Yeah, because it doesn't specify a timeline or anything. I guess if I would have hit the bill on it, click that link, it might have told me, but it just got passed into law. So, I'm guessing, heck, as soon as this fall, I would assume.
Well, and
But-
I think there's a reason that there's only one state, which happens to be Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
Which
that
I
is-
don't know.
that is willing to conduct this experiment, right?
And I guess-
because there are risks associated.
Well, yeah, any genetic engineering, there's going to be risk, especially with a wild population.
Well, and the most significant risk is no data anywhere has shown
Right.
immunity, right? They've shown resistance and delayed.
And you know what? I noticed they didn't say how much of a delay.
Right. But regardless, it's a delay.
But they've all still died.
They've all died.
Right.
If a deer contracts CWD, they die.
die.
Right. But these genetically resistant deer
Still die.
display those symptoms at a delayed rate, right? So longer into contracting the disease. So worst case scenario, these deer are out there exposing more deer for a longer period of time
Exactly.
before they display these symptoms,
Right.
right? So there is a very real potential for this experiment that Oklahoma is going into
It's like
to have a very negative
extended release typhoid Mary kind of thing. Yeah.
So I didn't find current numbers or anything. So I just typed in Oklahoma CWD. And I got a map from the USGS that has a map of all distribution of chronic wasting disease throughout the whole United States. And so I'm looking at Oklahoma. It's got 2 yellow dots, which mean CWD and captive facilities depopulated. 2 dots.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got 2 counties that are gray, which means CWD and free-ranging populations.
2 counties?
2 counties, according
I
to
think
this.
maybe
Not a
Wisconsin should
So
be ahead
if
of this.
you look at the states that have it, Kansas has got quite a bit, a couple yellow dots, a couple red dots, which means CWD and captive facilities current, and a lot of gray counties, CWD and free ranging. You look at Minnesota, it's actually less than Kansas, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Less than Missouri, less than Iowa, less than Nebraska. But there's a lot of yellow dots. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, maybe somewhere around there. You look at Wisconsin. A lot of Wisconsin is gray,
Yeah, a lot of
red,
Wisconsin looks
and yellow.
pretty infected.
Yep.
Northern Illinois, it looks like. And you got Michigan. That's a lot of red dots, a lot of gray. Pennsylvania.
Looks like Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah, not as much as Wisconsin, but a really concentrated area. But then you go out west. Let's see, that'd be Colorado. A lot of gray, yellow, red. So I'm just looking at Oklahoma. And then, okay, so let's go down to Texas. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 counties, which probably the size of, half Oklahoma. A lot of red dots, a lot of yellow dots. So according to this, what I'm getting at is Oklahoma doesn't have a whole lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, looking at that map, there's like nothing.
Right. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe with that, maybe Oklahoma would be a good test site because
I'm not saying
there's not enough out. There's not a lot.
Yeah. I think Oklahoma would be a great test site, but I don't think that test should come entirely from, I'm going to call it an optimistic theory with no evidence, right?
Yep.
I'm just calling it a theory with no evidence. I mean, if I asked my 7th grade son if this was a good idea, he could probably tell me it wasn't.
Right. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea necessarily, right?
Maybe statewide, it's not a good idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find a WMA. Or you know what? They've got captive cervid farms there, right?
Yep.
Let's conduct those experiments there.
Right.
And let's get some peer review.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can't just release those deer into the wild and expect those same results.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, why they approve that, I don't know. And why these deer farmers aren't doing these studies is beyond me.
Well, I guess some are, but I don't know. What we're lacking is peer review, right?
Yeah.
Like I've
what
heard,
you're saying is some are saying they are.
Yeah, I've heard many times about some deer farmer in Wisconsin, right?
Who's doing genetic testing?
Yes.
And all that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure they are in Wisconsin.
Yeah, selective breeding for these certain markers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And apparently he has all but eradicated CWD off of his deer farm.
Well, then he should be willing to let people study that.
And I think he is.
Well, that's good.
But I think it's very short term. And again, we are in a captive population. There's no external genetic markers.
Exactly. And I think that's what they miss out on is that it's okay when you got the same genetics coming at that. And when you throw in another million genetics coming in at that, things are going to change.
Right. So how does this translate to the wild deer herd?
Right.
That is in the billions.
Right. It turns them into zombies and, who knows what.
Right.
I mean, that's real.
So until I can see a benefit for the wild deer herd, I can't in good conscience.
I don't see how anybody could.
Well, and that's why NDA, MDHA, everyone is not for this at this point.
It seems just,
I guess that's
irresponsible.
That's a good point to make is what conservation group is for it?
None that I know of, other than a few specific local or state groups that have ties to the deer farm industry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So Texas, for example, their version of, I guess you could call it their version of MDHA, very strong ties to the captive deer, big game hunting,
high
sanctuary.
They got a ton of high fences in Texas.
Very strong connections to that industry. Mm-hmm. One of the only organizations that I know of that is in support of this research.
And they should do it on one of their high fence areas in Texas and prove it.
Well, again, that's what they're trying to do
in Oklahoma,
but and Texas. I can't remember his name, but there's a researcher out of Texas. But they are looking at this microcosm of a genetically insulated population and saying this disease, CWD, can be eradicated. We've just shown it. And that goes back to the scrapie argument. Captive populations are very different than wild populations. Let's look at Minnesota. Do you think every deer in the state of Minnesota gets to the border of Wisconsin or North or South Dakota or Iowa or Canada and says, "Oh, I'm a Minnesota deer. I'm going to stop here"?
Right. I'm not touching that thing.
No, they are crossing borders all the time.
Right.
I mean, it's very clear that the most densely concentrated Wisconsin CWD area is southwest Wisconsin.
Right.
And the most densely concentrated area of Minnesota is southeast Minnesota. They're crossing state lines all the time. They don't care what your policies are. They don't care what deer are captive and not. But we need a solution that is going to benefit our wild deer herd. And I'm not saying the DNR has done a perfect job. I don't have my pom-poms on. Right?
We got to get some pom-poms.
I'm not a cheerleader for
We got to
them.
get one of those sounds.
Yeah. I'm not a cheerleader for them. I am throwing glitter in the air right now, but
It's pretty, though.
it is pretty, right? I don't agree 100% with the intensive harvest areas within the state of Minnesota.
Absolutely not. Well, I don't mind that harvest areas, but that one that's like state, they come in and do it.
That's what I'm referring to. Yep.
Okay.
And as well as the extended seasons or the late seasons.
Because when somebody can take a deer and use that deer, I'm all for that.
right. And regardless of what season we're talking about, that can still happen.
Right.
I'm not 100% in favor of that, but you just pulled up a map from the NDA website,
No, USGS.
USGS website.
Yeah.
Look at Minnesota, look at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Minnesota took a hard stance against CWD. Wisconsin,
Let it go.
polar opposite, right?
And you can clearly tell that.
And
on
there's
that
a
map.
difference. Do I think Minnesota went a little too much? Yes.
I don't know if I'd say too much, but maybe made some wrong choices.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what we're at right now, but very, very minimal compared to Wisconsin in terms of CWD positive deer
Yeah.
from hunter harvest data.
Right.
And that is because of these efforts. Again, I wish we could back down a little bit and take a more holistic approach to if we get a positive case, let's not necessarily go in and harvest as many as possible. But let's increase the harvest a little bit. Let's get a bigger sample size and let's make our management decisions from
Right.
that.
I say instead of harvesting, make sure you do more testing.
Well, but that's the thing is currently we have no USDA approved antemortem or live test.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
we need that live test. And I think we're so close through organizations like the University of Minnesota and Priogen,
Yeah.
but we're not there yet. So we need that approval.
That would be great. Yeah.
I was just reading. Outdoor Life did a story on this as well. That's a really good article on it as well. So take a look at that.
What did they say?
It touched a lot on NDA is obviously the biggest or the loudest, I would say, negative proponent on this. And so they've been quoted a lot in every article I've read. Risk of releasing captive deer and everything like that. So it says it will happen as soon as 2024. And then they're stating potentially, according to the bill, as early as 2026, landowners could potentially buy deer from deer farms to release on their own.
Do they say what
property.
they think is going to happen when they release these deer? Are they saying you release these deer within 3 years, CWD is gone? Do they say that?
No.
So they don't even have an idea of what's going to happen.
They're doing a statewide experiment
Yeah, it's an experiment at best.
with very little evidence
Yeah.
to back the success.
And I think they're
of that
doing it
experiment.
because they can say, okay, at worst, we're still going to have CWD, but the deer will live 2 weeks longer kind of thing. But like you said, then they're spreading CWD for 2 weeks longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I wish it was 2 weeks. It's
Well, yeah, and
probably
that was just
it's more likely 2 to 3 years.
right. So, you're gaining time. You're not curing anything. You're not fixing
You're gaining
anything.
time.
You're pushing the
and
problem down the
potential
road.
for transmission.
Right.
Yeah.
So in Oklahoma, they're going to be spreading that to your Kansas deer.
Yeah. Well, and Kansas has, a decent, and according to that map, it had more CWD than what Oklahoma had.
Yeah, I saw some deer down there. They
there was, I was reading this. It was, so Oklahoma harvests 134,000 deer, yearly, and their estimated population is 750,000. So they definitely harvest a lot less than we do, and they have did I read it was I think it was a 16-day season? No,
really?
That can't be right.
Well, it's Oklahoma. They probably think it's longer.
I wouldn't think they'd have a 16-day season. I've got to look. Don't quote me on that 16-day season. I'm not 100% sure. I lost the page, but anywho, they're turning Oklahoma into a big
experiment.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm guessing a lot of people in Oklahoma don't agree with. I don't know a lot about Oklahoma, but
no. And the thing is, with the CWD stuff, it's hard to tell what people think.
Well, half the people think it's not even real.
That is true. Yes, because there'll
be people arguing against us to say it's not even real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, again, there is another right on the bottom of this article. On the bottom of every article, it states, CWD has not been. There's no current correlation between it being contracted to humans, but that doesn't mean.
Well, I think that's the big scare.
Exactly.
Right.
And every time I eat a piece of venison now, I'm worried that maybe I'll wake up the next morning a little different.
Well, and I
definitely
don't
wake up.
I don't think
different.
Anyone should have that fear. I know people do. Nobody has ever said that CWD can be transferred to humans, right? What they've said is we can't rule out the possibility.
Correct.
That it
could happen.
Mutate in the future totally. And be able to live in a human host.
The more deer that get it, the more likely it is to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, it's simple.
Exactly.
Mathematics.
And there's really no logical refuting that,
Right. Although I will say, if that was the case, I'm guessing some people in Wisconsin have it. And since they're Packer fans, I would have to say there's a likely chance it's happened already.
I don't know why we didn't test this in Wisconsin.
I mean,
I don't
think you can cheer for Green Bay without having
CWD
or any other
green, yellow. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
The two worst colors.
That's like moldy color. I mean, come on.
Well, it is cheese.
A virus is totally controlling the brains.
Let's take cheese, which is our favorite food to eat, and let's make it moldy, and let's make a team around that.
Right.
And then we'll pack it up
and we'll put it on our heads.
Right. Because the brain is the least important part of the body.
And that's in Wisconsin, evidently.
Probably in this conversation. Yep.
Well, ours aren't moldy. It's just saturated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely sad. Yeah.
Just kidding. Honestly, I don't have any friends in Wisconsin, so I don't really care.
I have one.
I've got some family in Wisconsin.
You do?
I do.
You're from Kansas. How do you have family in Wisconsin?
Cousins from Illinois went to Wisconsin.
Oh, they have a term for that. Did you know that? I can't remember it, but there's a term for people that are friendly to Wisconsin people from Illinois.
Really?
Yeah, there's a term for it.
Yeah.
Because I think
idiots.
Yeah. They're so excited that somebody, because they're like, hey, if we go to our west, they hate us,
No.
And there's nothing to the east of them except for a lake, right? But if they go to the south, people from the south like them. There's literally a term for it, and they like. I guess it's a thing.
Huh.
They get all excited when you know it.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like an abbreviation from people from Illinois who like people from Wisconsin. I don't know. Huh. Anyway, sorry Wisconsin. Sorry Oklahoma. Sorry Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to everyone except for Wisconsin.
Well, I'm there's a great thing going, a study right now that they might win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Skull.
Who's Skull? No, there was a study like nobody from who's had this has won the Super Bowl. Nobody from this has had the Super Bowl. Nobody from this has Super Bowl. And the only ones that end up left in that argument, Cheeseheads.
Yeah, well, they've won the Super Bowl. We haven't. It's our turn.
Yeah, it's our turn. It's not fair. We need a participation trophy. We got a new quarterback named Daryl or whatever. He's like 12.
I don't even follow it. I don't follow it.
Yeah, you don't have professional sports reasons, so I get it. Anyway, so CWD, bad.
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 Let's take every precaution we have. The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
So how about a little recap on the legislative session for Minnesota 2024?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, it was an unusual session.
Kind of seemed like
say
it.
the least.
I heard there was some yelling and arguing and stuff, but honestly, that's almost usual these days.
Yeah, unfortunately, people don't know how to act like adults anymore.
Yeah, it seemed like I saw a lot of stuff like at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how they go right up to midnight
Right.
and try to push everything, push everything through. I don't know. I just saw some stuff on it, but how did we?
Well, so
as hunters.
Right. So hunters, MDHA members, we have our own legislative agenda that a number of organizations are advocating for. And I would say that 90 to 95% of that agenda wasn't even on the table this year.
Jeez.
Didn't even get a vote.
Right. And the majority of the work we did in Congress this year was actually a defensive strategy.
Okay.
We weren't trying to get bills passed. We were trying to prevent bills from getting passed.
Yeah.
So anything from ATV use on public lands to Second Amendment issues like gun storage and ammo storage. It was much more of a defensive, let's stop this from being passed, rather than let's get what we want to go through. It's not an environment right now where that's going to happen. But I will say we were very successful this year with killing a lot of bills. I mean, the ATV bill that was introduced did not pass. So you can still use your ATV on public land, which I think
that's a big win.
It's a big win, especially for our outdoorsmen and women with limited mobility. I mean, that's how they get in and out of where they're trying to go.
Absolutely.
Second Amendment, nothing significant passed this year. We talked about it last time, but the binary trigger ban was the only thing that passed when a lot more was introduced and debated and heard.
Yeah, the storage thing, I was happy because there's no way I would have done that. But
and then there were, once again, a bill to prohibit any future wolf hunt in the state of Minnesota. And once again, we were able to kill that bill.
Right.
So with speaking about the wolf, and I know we talked about a little bit on probably a few past episodes, where is that in the United States?
Oh, at the federal level?
Federal level. How is, because I know obviously we talked about the Trust the Science Act.
Yep.
But although that's at the president's desk at this point, right?
No. Senate.
Okay, at the Senate.
So Trust the Science Act passed the House.
Yeah.
Republican-controlled House. It's at the Senate, which is democratically controlled.
Yeah.
And then if it passes there, would go to the president.
Okay, right.
Which we've been
hearing
basically told that the president will not sign it, which is kind of a surprise to me. But
how long, I guess I'm kind of ignorant in these ways, how long before we would know that it goes to, gets passed through the Senate? How long does that legislation go till?
We are talking U.S. politics. So I would say anywhere from tomorrow to 2045.
Yeah, they get creative. They can just do whatever they want.
That's true.
Like,
That
let's
is
vote on it
true.
in 25 years. They'll make a rule that says that.
Good call.
I've got my collection of Dr. Seuss. I'm going to filibuster this
Exactly.
Yeah,
What a
I got you.
joke.
I got you.
So it's really hard to put
Yeah.
a pulse on
Yep.
on that question.
Okay.
But it's encouraging that it passed the House.
Yeah.
Not surprising. I would be shocked and ecstatic if it got past the Senate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trust the science thing.
Trust the science.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get by.
Originally introduced by Lauren Boebert out of Colorado.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We can only hope. But
we'll see. I mean,
Well, it all probably depends how many things they tag onto it.
very true.
Right.
You know, you got those rider bills
That just kill things.
Exactly. And I wish we could find a way. in
Oh,
the
there's a
US.
way. They just don't want to do it.
Right.
Then it'd have to work more than
Yeah. 1
3
bill, one
hours a
vote
week.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting topic to say the
Yeah.
least.
that's for sure.
No doubt
Well,
about
we
it.
just kind of wanted to bring it up, see where things were at.
Well, it's good to
been
know
trying to
that and
follow
understand
some of
that.
it,
It's
but-
tough to follow it all.
Oh, it is. It's tough to understand.
I mean,
half
you
of
go
it.
to some of these places and you just can't find any, what happened because nobody talks about all of it. They want to talk about the welfare and whatever those bills are,
Well, then it depends what
the identity bills.
It depends what outlet you go to
Absolutely.
as to what's published. What's
That's why I get my news from down the barrel.
Down the
that
barrel is
best
the
place to
legit
get-
place because
Oh, it is
we don't know what's going on. We'll just tell you what we hear.
pretty much. Or tell you what we think.
It's the CNN of the rational minded.
I don't know if I like being called CNN.
I
don't
said
even
of the
care.
rational minded.
Which
Yeah,
I would just like to be called.
I didn't call you MSNBC.
Your story.
hey, that's true.
Who cares? We're the news source of the rational minded,
There you go.
Boom, the news source.
the
We're not gonna-
saturated minded. That's what I like to go with.
Yeah, there you go. we could go with that.
Mace will agree.
Yeah, our new tagline.
Definitely.
Get your news here.
I saw a nod of approval.
You saw what?
Yes,
A nod of approval.
Yeah.
And he is wearing a We the People holsters hat. And so seeing that hat nod,
Right.
that's how you know We the People stand behind it.
Right.
the people.
DTP.
Boom.
Yeah. We are the people.
Well, or some of them. You know,
Couple of them.
most important.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, a few.
I am. No, I don't know about you.
Right. Anywho, what do we got coming up? Kind of this summer.
Well, off
even
the top of my
recently, I
head,
should
I
say.
know within the next few weeks we're going to have BHA on,
Yes, we are.
Sportsman for the Boundary Waters,
Yep. And then hopefully Tacticam.
TACCAM,
Yeah, they
and
said they
probably
were
a few others.
Yeah.
I can't speak of yet.
Yeah, we're kind of waiting to hear back. Schedule some stuff.
Did
it's a busy
Miley text
summer.
you back?
Miley did not, but I'm hoping Steve Ranella or Ryan
somebody.
Callahan does.
Yeah.
I hope
I
it's
talked to him
Cal.
recently and they said they'd be on, but I got to, kind of pencil them in.
As long as it isn't Giannis, because that's a fake name.
Isn't that a Polish?
Giannis Putelis.
Isn't that a Polish guy like you?
Well,
Is that a Polish name? Or is he a Turkey? Turkish?
No comment.
Either way, if we're bringing him on, he's going to bring us some Zivic.
Yes.
That is the damn truth. You know what? If you get him on, I will bring the Zivic. I will drive to Poland.
You'd have to drive to at least Minneapolis to get Zivic because I've looked everywhere around here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll take a ferry to Poland to get that if you get Giannis. But I'm pretty sure he's not Polish. I
thought he was Polish.
I think he's Czech. I don't know.
Czech?
Yeah, Giannis kind of sounds more of a.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
necessarily consider.
I always want to call him Janice.
Janice. Well, that's how it's spelled. And whenever they spell their names with a J and they spell something weird, it's Turkish.
You think it's Turkish? It's not. If it's Turkish, I don't know what I'm going to buy the next 3 bottles of bourbon.
Okay.
All right. Let me
All
look
right.
him
I'm
up.
going to get a hold of him and ask him where. I'm going to listen to every Meat Eater podcast. I'm going to find out where that boy's from.
Well, I've got it right here.
Or at least his family's from.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying.
Like he's going to say, my family ancestry is from freaking Turkey or Alabama or whatever.
Definitely Alabama. Got some Louisiana blood in him.
Giannis. Yeah, he's definitely Turkish.
Definitely
Yeah.
Cajun.
I can't
He's
find
Turkish.
anything other than internet personality.
Although he
But
doesn't seem very Turkish to me, but what the hell would I know?
No, I wouldn't say. I agree with your assumption, but from listening to him, I would definitely not say Turkish.
He doesn't appear,
No,
but his
not
mom
at
could have
all.
been Irish.
What you got? Nothing?
Nothing yet.
Either way, Ryan Callahan, I'm pretty sure he's going to be on this podcast before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Renault, I don't know. He's from Michigan, so I don't know. He's probably rooting for the Lions because they had a good year last year. I don't know.
They
What he's
did
doing.
have a good year last year.
You know, that's pretty good considering they've been around for whatever 100 years, and that's their first good year. Just kidding.
Yeah.
They had a few good back in the 30s.
They did have
and
a
40s.
few, but so when was Minnesota's last good year?
98. Moss. Yeah, we almost went to the Super Bowl. Falcons.
It was more recent than that. The Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, that was a pretty good year.
Was that 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember. either.
Justin Jefferson. Was that his name?
I think so.
JJ?
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
about
him,
him?
right?
Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that was Stephon Diggs.
Diggs.
was it?
You're
Oh,
right. It
okay.
was
Diggs.
Diggs.
But that was
Yeah.
just a couple years ago, right?
It was 2018, and then we
18?
traded him to the Bills.
Yep.
That seems like something we did.
But yeah, that was a mistake. And you know what else was a mistake?
Please tell me.
Hiring Dean.
allowing Wisconsin to be a state.
Well, that was before our time.
But no,
We definitely
what
got
was
any
his name?
listeners in Wisconsin now.
Ever.
Tune in next time for conversations with
The Minnesota Deer Hunters
Body
Association and
Water.
Wolf.Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.